That's it. I really need to get a helmet cam because this is really hard to do with one-handed. So, gotta check the oil, grease all the zerks on the boom, and it'll be ready to go for another day. I got a lot of this cleared down here the other day, trying to open it up to get to the nobles, and there was a bunch of trees in around them. Volunteer hemlock and Doug fir, like there's a Doug fir right here. And it's right up against these nobles. I really hate to take that one out though. It's a really nice Doug fir. And that's a nice noble. So I may let the Christmas tree guy see if they can just take this noble the way it is, because it looks pretty good. It looks pretty full on that side. And they'll probably cut it up right there in that bare spot and take from there up, but it's hard to say. So I try to leave the trees that I can, although we're going to replant a bunch. This right here, I think I'm going to either put garlic in this field or lavender. I haven't decided yet. But we do need to replant Christmas trees all around. And these nobles in here are too close together, and they've been allowed to grow too tall. And the tops, the way you keep from growing tall, or the way you make them fill in, is you cut those tops off when they're smaller, and it makes them fill out. And that wasn't ever done with these, or hasn't been done in a long time. So we're going to come in and take every other one out, I think, and let the bed, go through and look at which trees are the best and take out every other one. But I hauled 2 heaping full trailer loads of trees I tore out of here, trees and brush, blackberries. There's a bunch of blackberries here still growing up down in here. They're horrible. So I need to get down here and spray, but I gotta be really careful. If I get the spray on the trees, it damages the trees. Although it wouldn't hurt these trees right here, because they're not too good on the bottom, but they are good on the top. So like that tree's a good tree. They'll just cut it off right there in the middle and take that tree. And I really hate having to take them out, but pretty much have to. So to stay tax deferred in this area on this property, I have to sell a certain amount of trees every year. So some of these have to go. That one's a pretty nice one there. And I need to come down here with the tractor and the box blade and smooth out these. You can't really tell in the video. It's hard to see how rough it is, but wherever I turn with the excavator, it really pushes up the ground next to the tracks. And I try to make, multiple point turns to make it so I don't push up the ground, but I don't always do that. There's Scotch broom, which is invasive. I've got most of the Scotch broom around this place. I've killed it. There's a few plants growing around, but I've tore out trailer loads of Scotch broom, and I'm on it. I'm on the Scotch broom. There ain't going to be any around here in a few years. And the blackberries, I'm putting a big dent in them. But that's all blackberries along here, all up through along this whole path that has to be sprayed. I can only tear out so much with the excavator. It's really hard to grab a hold of them if they're not a big bunch. There's a nice Christmas tree right there. And you see how the blackberries grow up into the trees. It's not as bad as ivy. Ivy puts off some kind of toxin or something and kills the trees, but that's all clear up into the tree. It'll grow all the way up, I think, clear up to the top of it if I let it. More there. And then Oregon grape all around here. I don't know if they planted this Oregon grape or if it just volunteered. There were some big stumps I tore out right here. They didn't come out easy either. I had to really work at it. And then I cleared all this the other day. It's hard to tell in the video, but it leans to the road here, kind of leans to the right, and the blade on the excavator, I can't tilt it. I could just go up and down. Doesn't have an angle or a tilt. And when you're on side slopes like this, you really need a tilt so you can cut in on the left side, and then that pushes the dirt over to the right side and helps the machine level out, and then you could level out the road and make a nice flat road. And I really need to get some kind of bulldozer that I can come out here and work on some of these roads, smooth them out. So it's on my list of things to get. So there's this area of trees here, which I think is about 5 acres maybe. And then there's on the directly past this, there's a draw with a creek and a bunch of volunteer red maple and blackberries, lots of blackberries. And then there's another parcel with, I think maybe like probably 4 or 5 acres of Christmas trees, all overgrown like this. And then over this way, there is, you can see them kind of peeking through over there. There's another area of Christmas trees, which is probably the biggest area. And it's probably 6 acres, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. You walk downhill, it's much easier than walking uphill. Lots of grasshoppers. And then I'll be, as soon as I get the flail mower fixed, put back together, I'll be mowing all this. But I gotta come in with the box blade on the tractor first, knock all these dirt humps down, and then I'll come in and mow. And then there's a lot of blackberries that want to volunteer up, but I'd like to do either lavender or garlic right here. Probably lavender would be the best bet. Over here on this side, I've hauled, I don't know, 10, 15 loads of brush out of here with the trailer. There's a big pile right there I gotta still pick up. That's a whole trailer load or more right there. And then I can't get to all that. I started to make a road up right here, but there is a drain pipe right there. It comes across from over there. So it was all covered up with brush, and I just seen a little section of it, and I stopped, and sure enough, it is a drain pipe. It goes down into that draw. So I don't want to tear it up. So I really need to come in from the other side. And down in there, you can see how wet it is. I actually got the excavator stuck down there. I got out, but I had trouble. It's very swampy, muddy through there. And then down here, more Christmas trees. This was like some kind of tree field here, but it's all mixed. There's Doug firs, nobles. I'm sure that the red alders over there you can see sticking up through the top. I'm sure those were volunteer. That big giant tree over there, that's over by one of the ponds. It's a huge tree. And then there's a cedar with a Doug fir right up against it. So I need to cut down the Doug fir so the cedar can fill in and do good. But I didn't want to pull it out with the excavator because I was afraid it would damage the roots of one of the other trees. But I need to bring the chainsaw down here and cut down the Doug fir and that little second tree growing up next to the cedar. Trying to leave all the cedar trees. There's a bunch of blue spruce in here. And you can see where it's all dead right there because there was trees right up against those trees. I tore all those out to make that road through there. And then we're going to be taking probably 100 nobles out of this field down here this year. And that's where a lot of the videos have been coming, is down in that field, clearing that out. So that's what's going on. I better get to work because I got way more stuff to do than I have time to do. Talk to you later.